Hi, it's Mike again from Motorhome Happiness, and today we're here with Russ, and Russ is going to talk about Betty. And Betty is this converted Iveco, how do you say it, Russ?
That's Iveco, Mike.
Iveco, right, okay.
So this is Betty. The reason she's called Betty is my mum died when I was 6, and I thought it was fitting to just name her after my mum, so that's what I did. Bit of a story behind Betty actually. I had cancer 3 years ago, and I just didn't know what was going to happen, and I've always wanted a motorhome, but I wasn't in the financial position to get one. So I watched lots and lots of the YouTube videos, Greg Virgo, Camper Vibe and that sort of thing, and they all fitted out their own vans. So I thought, right, I'll buy a van. So I bought Betty, the 2004 Iveco, in immaculate condition underneath and in the engine, but inside was a bit of a wreck. So I thought, right, we might as well have a go at converting her. So here she is, like I say, 2004 model. If we walk in the cab, the first thing I'll show you is the cab. We actually had to sort of reconstruct the cab, and the reason we did that is because it was obviously a painter and decorator's van beforehand. So I've reconstructed the panel in the front, I've put the Betty sign in, I've got a reversing camera, and we put new seat covers on, and the obligatory going away wetsuit, of course. So that's that. This is all nice and up and running now. We had to redo all of the top of the roof and everything like that. So as we go in now, this is the first build I've ever had, or I have ever done, so I really was trial and trepidation. But if you put your mind to it, there's lots and lots of YouTube videos out there that will just help with absolutely everything. My biggest worry was the electrics, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so please come in. So the first thing is you'll notice we've got a full oven, yeah, a hob, hot and cold running water, yeah, and sink and everything like that, and storage underneath, and put out storage to the side for food. And this was bought from a Caravan Breakers, right, and I think I paid about £80 for the whole unit.
Wow. Right,
so that went in. My first ever attempt at tiling, and then of course I have to put the water in. Right, and I thought, well, we're going to have a nice tap. So I bought the tap off of eBay, and then I watched another video, and it was quite interesting because I didn't want a shower. Now, as I said earlier on, I had cancer 3 years ago, so I don't need a toilet because I've got a colostomy bag.
Oh,
right, so I thought, right, well, I don't need a toilet, so really do I need a shower? Because if I do wild camp, I'd like to have a shower. So up here you'll see 4 hooks, okay, and what I do is, you know the kids' hula hoops? Yeah, I put a hula hoop up there and a shower curtain around it, put a tub in there, and I bought a bidet extension, right, and then what you do is, with this tap you can set your temperature, you'll bring it in, and you can just shower yourself off. Yeah, put it back out there, soap yourself off, bring it in again, shower yourself down. And like
where does the water go?
The water goes under and into straight through the floor, and I've got a tank straight under there.
When you have a shower, where does the water go?
So what I do is I've got like a tub.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
You know, one of those garden tubs?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've got one of those, and you put the shower curtain inside the tub, right, and you get nothing anywhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's amazing how ingenious the ideas you can come up with when you need to.
Well, no, it's interesting because I was at a quandary. I've got an 18-year-old son who has very particular cleanliness, self-cleanliness needs. Right, and I said to him we weren't going to have a shower, and he said, no, Dad, we need a shower, unless we go to a camp. Right, and then he'd be fine. So that's where we come. We looked at YouTube and we literally just researched it, and there it was. A couple in Spain had done it. Right, we put the vents in. Right, so the good thing about this vent is when you open it, I can take the air out, or I can push the air in.
Right, yeah,
Right,
that's a good
so
idea.
if he's got steam, we've got steam coming off the shower, it's taking it straight out.
Yeah.
It's not affecting any of the thermal barrier or any of the insulation, it's not making anything damp.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this is cladding.
Yeah, right.
Now, the thing about the cladding is, like I said, after I come out of hospital, immediately we went into lockdown. So really I was quite lucky because a lot of people have died during lockdown with my condition. But of course, what we found is you couldn't get hold of any cladding or anything like that. It was like incredible. So you'll see throughout the van there are different shapes of cladding. Right, so what we tried to do is keep it uniform to the centre and then another shape at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we cut the vents in. Quite trepidatious doing your first vent. I mean, as you can see, I'm not a small bloke, so getting up on the roof was a bit of a nightmare. So I had to get my 18-year-old, well, he was 19 then, my 19-year-old son on the roof. We cut the holes in. We've got one forward and one aft.
Yeah.
Right, so that was it. The blue and white is what we wanted, you know, so that's what we did. Now, what's interesting is the windows were all plastic. They're all plastic windows. But everybody could see in and everybody could see out. So I took it to a little man in workshop who said he put full blackout film on. He wasn't going to do it because they're plastic windows, but when he put them on, it's amazing, and literally nobody can see in.
Yeah.
And I can see everything.
Absolutely.
So that's really, I've got, that cuts out the need for curtains.
Yeah.
You know, so that was good. You see, I've got lights in the ceiling. I've got full array of lights, and I've stocked them at the bedroom. Right. We didn't know what to do about a table because I didn't want to carry a table. So my 18-year-old son came up with this idea.
God.
Right, and what he does is this slides out,
Wow.
and we could just see 4, and it'll put away as well. And he literally thought of that.
That's brilliant.
Right, that's good. And I'm not the biggest telly watcher, but I do watch YouTube. So what I've done is, again, somebody has this on YouTube, right, and I literally play my phone through there. I can watch Netflix. I can watch, in fact, I've been watching you this morning, mate.
Oh,
right, with your review.
Thank you very much.
That's cool. So put that up. Of course, this is a single bed, doubles as the sofa. Anybody does anything, any camping, so things have got to have 2 purposes. So what I did was I put some storage underneath. I've got a 10 litre hot and cold water system. Yeah, the water runs to the back, and I'll show you the tank in a minute. A little bit of clothes storage. Yeah, and then of course your electrics goes through there as well. Yeah, these are old caravan cushions. eBay, £130. Right, and I've got another spare one as well. So, you know, if we get anything spilt and this gets soaking, that's fine. I thought we might go away. I'm not the biggest wild camper, if I'm honest, man, Mike, but I thought if we go away and we need some heating, there's no heating in here, so I bought a diesel heater. We put that in as well. And what I've done is I've run the fuel line and the pump at the back here, and then I've got a boat fuel tank, and we've adapted that so that will go in. And also if what we do is, because it's a little bit of a pain, yeah, what I've done is under here, under the mattress, I've cut a section out of the bed, yeah, and you can see down there is the fuel tank for the diesel here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it'll always, it's got a line on it so it tells me how full it is.
Yep.
Okay. When we designed it, we put the electrics, or the power for the electric, or the kill switch in the back. But then we thought, well, if it's raining, why do you need to go around the back to start the electrics? So what we did was bring it through. And if you're building your own camper van, this is a really good idea. Right, put your electrics where you can get them inside. So I can kill them from inside, and I put them on inside. You reviewed something like this morning.
Yeah, I mean the Jackery is an alternative to the one that I've got, which is the EcoFlow, and they're just brilliant. They do a great job, don't they?
Well, it's like you say, 240, 12 volts. With this one, if you've got an iPhone, you can just lay it on the top and it will charge your iPhone. I just think that's incredible. And of course, if you're going away on, like, we're going away to the big event that you mentioned last night.
Yeah, in Stratford.
Yeah, Stratford. I mean, no need for a generator. You know, this will power the van for 3 days.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, and that's really, really important.
And the other great thing as well is it's actually got a solar charge controller built into it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you can plug your panel straight in and it will convert that 27 volts down to whatever that needs.
And the beauty of that is from that solar panel it will fully charge, whereas if you do it from your cigarette lighter or anything like that, it won't do that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
USB ports everywhere. Kids with phones always want to charge their USB, so I put USBs everywhere, and lights, and of course another vent. I keep a vent open all night. I'm scared stiff, suffocating or anything like that, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But one safety point I will say is, if you listen to a lot of videos on YouTube, they'll say put your smoke alarm where your fire extinguisher is. And the reason for that is because when the smoke alarm goes off, you'll look immediately at the smoke alarm. It's a natural human reaction.
Yeah.
If you look at the smoke alarm, there's your fire blanket, there's your fire extinguisher.
Brilliant idea.
Right, and you know, I got that from, again, another YouTube channel. So it's well worth thinking about.
And do you know what? This is all about learning stuff and then telling others, because nobody knows everything, and the only way a lot of the people like us learn is listening to other people like us, isn't
exactly,
it?
Yeah.
So what you're doing now is absolutely perfect.
Thank you. Well, like I say, it's when I built it, it's taken me 2 years. The reason it's taken me 2 years is because when I bought it, I literally moved house, so it became my garage for a while for storage. And then one day I thought, right, we've got to get on with this. So we actually got on with it. All the cladding and all the insulation, it's fully insulated with, we used recycled plastic bottle caps.
Okay.
Right, and it's like wool, and then you just literally spray bond and then put it on to the outside. We put a little bit of deadening on as well, noise deadening, and then we put a thermal barrier on, and then we put the cladding on. So it's quite a process, but it's worth doing, because when it's cold out there, it's not in here, you know, and quite literally it's never ever cold in here, and even when it's hot outside, it's cool in here. And with the 2 vents, you can suck the air in and blow it out. So you know, it's good. It's very good.
Yeah.
Bought a fridge off the internet, but it's an alcohol. I thought I'd invest in a decent fridge, and the reason I invested in this is because it becomes a freezer as well. Right, so I can take that down. I've got ice cubes in it, and of course the all-important beer.
There you go.
Yeah. Obviously you've got the double bed.
Which way do you lie on that? That way?
So
crossways?
So if you're under 5'8", you can lay it the full length. But what I do is I'll bring these over here and I'll lay that way.
Right.
Yeah, and I can stretch out. Mattresses, I didn't want to buy a mattress, and the reason I didn't want to buy it is because you have to cut it about. Right, so what I bought was 2 toppers.
Right.
Right, put one topper on top of the other one. Right, and then they just fitted in. And then these camping mats will just give you a thermal insulation. Another top tip is, when you're putting your boards on, make sure you leave an air gap. And the reason you leave an air gap is because, right, you will sweat. That sweat will turn into moisture. Right, and that moisture, if you've got just like a piece of board across the top, that will make your mattresses mouldy.
Right,
so that's worth thinking about. So this is obviously your electric hookup. Yeah, quite simple. This is an old one again that I bought, but you can just buy them off of eBay, and it's literally cutting a hole. But the scariest thing is cutting the hole.
Yeah.
It really is. You're cutting a hole in your van and you think, what am I going to do? Yeah. You know, she's not in the best body quality, but you still don't want to cut holes in your van.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with that, you can see the bed. Okay, you can see the bed. We needed water. I've got 2 sons, so we need quite a lot of water. So I bought a 100-litre water tank.
Okay.
Right, and that I can last by myself for 10 days in that water. That gives me 10 litres of water. I bought 2 really good batteries, and then wired them up in parallel again with the help of Mr. Greg Verco off of YouTube. Right, and then brought it all into a fuse box. We wanted the solar panel on, so we put the solar panel on. Yep. Brought that down into the MPPT controller I do like Victron. You'll notice
Yep.
everything's Victron.
Yep.
Right, into the MPPT and then through into the battery.
Yep.
I've got another port there that I can stick that straight onto the power oak, and that would charge that. I wanted the batteries to charge while we were going, so I bought the TR Smart, so that as soon as the car battery gets to 12.7 volts, it then relays some energy into the the batteries. We've got the whale pump and the actuator right at the back there. Now my son and I have never done any plumbing or anything like that, so what we did is set it up in the garden.
Right, okay.
Got it running in the garden and literally transferred it to the van, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see there again the fuel tank for the heater.
Yeah.
What I will say is, if you're not a gas fitter, do not fit your own gas.
No, yeah.
Right, so my mate's a gas fitter, so we've got 2 gas bottles in there. Bought the Shore Flow because you can fill them up at Morrison's.
Yeah.
And now some campsites are having them fitted as well, so you can fill them up. So I've got 2 of them. It's a fully vented, airtight gas cupboard, which for a self-build is vital. You can't have gas bottles wandering around in your camper
Yeah,
van.
no, I agree.
Yeah, so that's that. And then, because I'm a man of, I like everything to be in its place, so we come around here, and just in case the English weather gives us some nice sun, I've got an outside point so I can have a gas barbecue.
Just what you need. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
In actual fact, can I ask you a quick question on that? Because somebody did pose a question on the forum the other day about what is the lead or what is the connector that goes into that? What does it look like?
It's a bayonet connector.
Okay.
Right, and quite literally you can buy it from any caravan shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, as you can see, it's shaped like a rectangle.
Yeah.
And it goes in, it twists, and it goes straight on. I've actually got a gas certificate for this, right? Because some sites actually require it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The van cost me £3 grand,
Wow.
and I've spent probably £3.5 grand doing it up. So for 6.5, let's say £7 grand. All right, the bodywork outside the bodywork's got a few rust points, but do you know what? That's a lick of paint.
Yeah.
And or a little touch up here and there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much for showing us around, Betty. Really enjoyed it. Really
Thank
nice
you very
to
much,
really nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And carry on enjoying.
Yeah. I will say one last thing. Join a club like we're in.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different experience. This is my 2nd trip out, and by yourself it can be quite scary, even though you're a 62-year-old man, but it's still quite scary. So when you join a community and you meet people like James and yourself, it makes you feel so much more at ease, and it's a lot of fun.
There you go.
Lovely. Thank
Good advice. Thanks a lot.
you. Cheers, mate.
Bye for now.
Take care. Bye now.